Crunchy and creamy, cheesy. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making Mozzarella Nta Carrozza Messinese, which means mozzarella in a carriage Messina style. This is a dish similar to the American grilled cheese, and it originated in Campania in southern Italy and traveled a little bit southward, and there's a Messina version, but there isn't a version in any other part of Sicily. It's only in Messina, and then in parts of southern Italy there's other versions. These are the ingredients for the Mozzarella Nta Carrozza Messinisi. So first I'm making the Besciamella sauce, and the first step is to heat up 1.25 cups of milk just on low heat so it's warm when I add it to the sauce. In a separate pot, I'm melting 2 tablespoons of butter. Next I'm adding 1/3 cup of flour and then mixing it up until it's all combined. Once the butter and flour are fully combined, it's time to add the warm milk. So I'm trying to mix it up, but it's pretty lumpy, so I might try using a whisk instead. The whisk is kind of helping, but it's still pretty lumpy. I'm also gonna add some salt at this point. But yeah, I'm whisking pretty continuously, and it's definitely starting to thicken up and be less lumpy. It's still pretty lumpy, and I'm not sure why, but I read something that said you can put in a splash of cold water and then whisk it in, and it might get rid of the lumps. All I have to say is I've never made any of the dishes on this channel before I made them for the channel, but I've made Besciamella before and it's never been this lumpy. I don't know, but I have to just stop and accept it. So I'm gonna add in nutmeg and black pepper. Now I'm taking the crust off of 10 pieces of white spelt bread. Now I'm going to spread the Besciamella onto half of the bread slices. I actually read it wrong. It said to put the Besciamella on all of the slices of bread. Now I'm cutting the mozzarella into about 5 slices. I ended up cutting thinner slices and not using all the mozzarella because I think this recipe actually calls for the bigger slices of bread, so I'm just gonna end up making more of these, but I don't have room right now. And now I'm just gonna close the sandwiches. So you're supposed to push the bread slices together, especially on the edges, and as you can see, this one just started splitting apart, so I think I needed sturdier bread for this. I didn't realize this bread was so soft and just like splits apart really easily. I never bought this type of bread before, so whoops. Hopefully it doesn't go too poorly. Now I'm gonna crack these eggs into the bowl. Then it says to add 100 milliliters of milk to the bowl, which is an awkward amount in cups, so I'm just adding this awkward leftover amount of milk I have, and then I'll add another 1/4 cup. And then I'm just adding salt and pepper to the bowl with the milk and eggs. And then of course whisking it all together. Now I prepared a plate of flour seasoned with salt and pepper and the seasoned breadcrumbs, and I'm going to dip the sandwiches first in the flour, then the egg, and then the breadcrumbs. Here we go. The bread all split apart, unfortunately, so this probably isn't going to be anything like what it's supposed to be, but I'm going to see what happens. I'm also just leaving it out to dry for a little, just so the egg dries, and hopefully that'll help it stay together a little bit more. I'm heating up some oil in a pot, and then it'll be time to fry the sandwiches. Now I'm going to fry them 2 at a time. Once they're out of the oil, I'm just sprinkling them with a little bit of salt. Luckily, they mostly didn't completely fall apart. They're not sealed on the edges like they were supposed to be, but it's surprisingly close given how badly they were falling apart before. So also, they fry really fast. It was only about a minute on each side. It's time to try the mozzarella in a carriage. It definitely tastes like a crossover between grilled cheese and French toast, which makes sense. And then the crunchy breadcrumbs are a really good addition. Okay, it gets like amazing as you go on because you start getting more of the Besciamella, and it's just like crunchy and creamy, cheesy. Oh my god. And this is like an amazing snack food or lunch. Also, the nutmeg and the spices in the breadcrumbs add a nice additional flavor. But yeah, this was definitely well worth the effort, and if you get like sturdier bread that doesn't fall apart, it will definitely be less effort and even more worth it. I cannot understate how much of a miracle this was, given how much the bread was falling apart, and it actually ended up pretty close to what the recipe is supposed to be. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this journey to make Mozzarella Nta Carrozza Messinese. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.